Sometimes when we think of who a scientist is, we think of these people. But scientists don't actually look like this. They look more like this. What ties scientists together is not what they look like or where they work, but how they think. Scientists ask a lot of questions about things, like how does this work? Or where did that come from? They try to figure out answers to those questions by looking at data and observations of different events or phenomena. Thinking like a scientist doesn't mean sitting in a lab quietly or exclaiming, "Eureka!" It means asking questions, trying to come up with ways to test ideas to answer those questions, collecting information and data relevant to the questions, and finally, using your training and intuition to interpret that information while also keeping an open mind. While many scientists go into a situation having an idea or a hypothesis about a certain event, they know that their research might reinforce that idea or possibly argue against it. Scientific questions can be big and complex, like how was the Earth created or when did life begin? However, thinking scientifically can become and may already be a part of your everyday life. Think about it. You have to cross the street. You look left, all clear. You look right. There's a car off in the distance. What do? Do you cross or do you wait? Well, it depends. You gather data on the distance from the car to where you're standing, how fast the car is going, and possibly whether there's a crosswalk or not in front of you. Based on that, you evaluate whether it's safe to walk or whether you should wait. While the application is quite different, the processes involved are not. In science, like when we're crossing the street, we try to make objective decisions that are free from any external influence. However, that may not always be the case. You may have to consider whether you're late for work in your decision to cross the street, just as a scientist might bring her own perspective to her interpretation. Still, you're not going to jump in front of a speeding car just because you're late for work, and in science, there are ways we try to mitigate or compensate for our biases through things like collaboration and peer review. Once we start to think scientifically, it can help guide us even when we least expect it. Listen to the story of Mark Erdman. Mark's a marine biologist who was on his honeymoon in Indonesia and was casually perusing a local fish market when he spotted something that caught his attention, a fish that he had never seen before. A year later, he returned to speak with local fishermen and discovered that the fish was a coelacanth, a species that had been thought of as extinct for at least 65 million years. Questioning the world around us is a common trait of scientists. In fact, it's one of the key things that links scientists together, ranging from astrophysicists to zoologists. So go ahead and get started. Try to make everyday decisions objectively and based on the information at hand. It's great practice for your research.